Dokkanners, welcome back to Tsunami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In today's video, we're going to be discussing all about the Memorial Dragonstone, what it is, how many you're going to be getting, how do you get them, and what can you use them for. So before we talk about that, I quickly want to talk about something else. So if we check out the Summons tab right here, you're going to see a dual Dokkan Festival banner situation. These two banners are part of the 350 million download countdown campaign, basically a reflection of the past year of Dokkan Festival units, with obviously some exceptions being the more recent units. These two banners hold tremendous value to a lot of players. New players, returning players, players who don't have the means or the funds to spend a whole lot on these banners, and of course, free-to-play players. So these banners are highly coveted by a lot of people. How can you summon on these two banners? Well, you can do so in two different ways. You can summon using 50 tickets, or you can do so using bulks of 7 tickets. But the issue here is that you can only get up to 21 Celebration Summon tickets during the Countdown campaign. How are you able to do a 50-unit multi if you don't even have 50 tickets? And that is how we lead into the very concept of the Memorial Dragonstone. What a Memorial Dragonstone is basically a reflection of your past year of Dokkanning. For every 50 Dragonstones consumed, you will be given 1 Memorial Dragonstone. The word consumed is the key word here. For every 50 Dragonstones consumed, that means stones used for summons, stones used to refresh stamina, stones used to revive your units from a fallen event, anything at all. If you consumed the Dragonstone and you used it for some purpose in Dokkan, it counts towards your Memorial Dragonstone count. That is insane. I would also like to take this time to publicly apologize to my buddy Periodic. A couple of days ago, Periodic had asked me about the Memorial Dragonstones and if the Dragonstones consumed outside of summons were going to be counting towards the Memorial Dragonstone count. And I told him no. And I was wrong. And I'm sorry. And I really hope you can forgive me. My bad, dude. Periodic, my old friend. So from August 20th of 2020 last year until August 21st, 2021, every single stone that was consumed will be tabulated and then converted into Memorial Dragonstones given back to you. This is a really nice way that Dokkan is able to provide a little bit more bang for your buck for all of the time and effort that you spent over the past year in this game, and you'll be getting it after the calculation period is over. Since we have such a massive amount of players with varying levels of Memorial Dragonstone counts, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to distribute these rewards to everybody because everybody's got different numbers and all that stuff. So don't freak out if the news comes in and you don't have your stones yet. Give it a little bit of time and then you'll get your Dragonstones. For those of you who are watching this right as I post this video, you have one more day. So for whatever reason, if you want to be doing a bunch of link level farming because you want to get your Ginyu Force units up to speed or your LRs and all that, try to do as much of it as you can right now, so that way at least you can get some of that back in the form of these Memorial Dragonstones. I'm not saying that you're probably going to get 50 Dragonstones burnt in the next day link level grinding, but every little bit helps. This is the chart from last year. So I was able to put together a chart featuring a bunch of different Dokkan tubers that I speak to and interact with. Wasn't able to get to everybody because of various timing constraints, but as you can see here, this was how many I had accumulated last year, and these were the amount of Dragonstones that I had consumed last year. Obviously, Truth dominates everybody because he summons a lot and he link levels a lot. There is no catching up with that guy, so don't even bother. But this is a pretty interesting spread here. So I'm curious to see what the spread is going to be like this time around, with probably more names that are going to be added to this chart. And given how many times I actually summon like crazy on this year's banners, I fully expect to be among the top 4 or 5, because I'm probably going to get to at least 5 or 10 Dokkan tubers. So we'll see what the score looks like. This is not a competition that I want to win. Let me be clear. I do not want to win this, but I am very curious to see how I measure up against everybody else. So if you guys want to make any predictions, feel free to let me know in the comments down below what your ranking might end up being. You know, is it going to be Truth number 1, Goresh number 2, Nano number 3, me 4, or maybe Havohai 4, maybe Tiger 4. Let me know your rankings. Just post them in the comments. It'll actually be really fun to look at them. So now the question is, what are you going to be using these Memorial Dragonstones for? Which units are you going to be summoning for or even purchasing? So as you can see here, this is last year's worldwide download celebration. And the Baba Shop consisted of either converting your Memorial Dragonstones into tickets or spending 150 Memorial Dragonstones a pop for any of the featured Dokkan Festival SSR units. Now, I remember at the time there was actually a bit of controversy around this because people were slightly upset at the fact that the prices seemingly were really high for a single purchase of these units. But the fact that this is a reflection of stones consumed, it was a little hard for me to be totally on board with that argument, but I can still understand it. So I'm curious to see how many Memorial Dragonstones it's going to cost this time around for these units. I imagine it's going to be the same, but I really hope that they add different levels, because last year my main issue with this was the fact that you were either all in or all out. If you didn't have enough Memorial Dragonstones, there was no chance of you picking up an extra Memorial Dragonstone here or there just to get that one unit. For me, I lucked out. I only needed Piccolo. But for someone else, let's say somebody ended up with 149 Memorial Dragonstones. They would be unable to buy any one of these units simply because they are missing one piece of currency that they will never get an extra amount for. They instead would have to convert all 149 Memorial Dragonstones into tickets and then test their luck on the banner. While that's still fine because it's all free, I feel like they should add varying levels of stone cost, because some of these units are simply not up to par with others. The more relevant Dokkan Festival units should be 150, sure, but then they should have a second tier and a third tier with prices ranging from like 100 Dragonstones or maybe 70 Dragonstones or something like that, depending on how old the unit is. I feel like that's the only change that I would want, and if they don't do that, well, I'm not surprised. How can you choose which unit to summon on or purchase? And that entirely is up to you and your experience with Dokkan. When considering which units you want to buy or maybe summon for, consider a couple things. Number one, try to look ahead to some of the upcoming prominent events. Perhaps there's a Super Battle Road category that's on the horizon whose leader skill you are missing. Check out existing events with tough categories. See if you have all of the units necessary to complete certain events that are already in your game. And also, don't forget, the same name update is now in full effect. If you're worried about purchasing a unit that has the same name as a unit that you currently use quite a bit, keep in mind you can run them both on the same team now, thanks to the same name update. So that about sums it up, folks. Hopefully you guys now have a better understanding of what these Memorial Dragonstones are all about. And hopefully you guys are equally excited as I am to see what the ranking ends up being for some of the Dokkan tubers and how many stones they've spent over the past year. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below and let me know in the comments. Once again, post your rankings. Who are your top 5 Dokkan tubers in order of most Dragonstones spent? So number 1 will obviously be Truth, but ranks 2 through 5, who do you think would occupy those slots? And also, let me know where you think you might be in terms of Dragonstones spent. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.